town is not responsible. We didn't do anything. You know, if you'd asked earlier, we could have probably had something worked out. It just didn't happen. Those things happen. But that being said, I'm certainly supportive of a special meeting or anything we can do on those lines. But as has been pointed out, you know, the unintended consequence issue has always been in the back of my mind. In the short time I've been here, I've seen that come up a few times, that it may seem real obvious in one direction, but when it goes through the process, other things might come up. And when you make a change, as Mr. Hale pointed out, for an exception or for this or that, sometimes the door opens to other things. And maybe not in this case, but that's part of why we have a process, is to make sure of what we're doing. It's not knee-jerk on the fly making decisions, but we carefully think it through and look at all sides of it. But thank you for being with us tonight and for sharing that situation.
Well, I certainly agree with Mr. Elliott. Good points. Well taken. I do have a question now. Do you have a building permit?
Yes.
Okay, so the plans were reviewed, building permit was issued.
It was a plumbing permit, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a plumbing permit, but you're also doing other types of work that are going to require a permit. I'm just curious how this permit was issued, if the plans were reviewed and
If I could make a suggestion for the board, I know we've been talking about this for a little bit. Let me get with Ms. Hawk and Mr. Hale as quickly as we can and discuss whatever alternatives there may be to see if there's any way we can help Ms. Handel out. There may not be anything that we can do at this time except go through this exact process that we've been discussing now. So if that helps, then we will look at whatever alternatives there may be out there, but I don't want to make any promises that we can do anything at this point other than what we've exactly discussed tonight.
I think obviously we're going to try to accommodate you, so you have that to rest on.
The assumption that I'm receiving from you all is that ultimately we kind of all agree that the Medi-Spa is a new concept. It's not presently anywhere, nor is it prevented to be anywhere, but because of the newness of that particular business category, it's made it a little difficult to kind of feel comfortable in placing it in the professional service.
Well, I think also that we have a hair salon, we have a cosmetic salon, we have a nail salon. So we got this kind of business going on in an area that's not really zoned for that. Then we have a combination of things. So as Mr. Elliott said, obviously the better fit would be in the existing section of development that's zoned for that particular type of activity. Yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing.
It is complicated, and I appreciate the time and so forth, because I too I'd like to think of myself as a very good business person. I've been in this industry for 33 years and I've done very well, and I did not I showed no concern of the location for my type of business, the type of traffic, being next to the spa. I've had a lot of people say, you're right next to that other spa. Businesses do that all the time. Restaurants love to be next to other restaurants and movie theaters, et cetera. You know, you can compliment each other.
Yeah, Lowe's love to be right across the street from Home Depot.
It can work. So none of those things really showed up to me to give me any concern about that particular location. My current location, we are in a great location, you might think, but we have traffic issues, we have parking issues, we have lots of things that you don't necessarily think that might interfere with. So I have clients that won't come to me on Thursday nights because they have to park at Walgreens across the way. So we, accommodate for that. It's, wonderful for Mellow Mushroom and the other restaurant to be busy, but it can cause other, problems for different businesses. That's one of the things I loved about that location up there. It's not near another area that would create that issue for me. So in evaluating that location, I felt it, checking off my concerns, it fit everything that would work perfectly for the frequency of clients, the parking needs, the size, et cetera. So that's why it was very much a shock when I learned that it was not an appropriate zone, because I had no chance to think that there would be a problem come up. It just seemed like a perfect space. But thank you again.
Well, thank you. We'll be working on this.
I appreciate that very much.
Next item is approval of minutes from August 25th.
I'll move for approval of the minutes as written.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I will abstain as I was absent from that meeting.
Now we have a series of 7 ordinances, first reading. Can we do this in a rapid-fire way? Because they're all about the same, right?
I would just read all of them together, and then I'll kind of summarize them all together. How's that sound?
Yeah, okay.
You gonna read them all, or do I just kind of go? I don't know if you're required to or not. I can
Well,
say
there's
reading.
ordinance 11-14 to amend the fire protection and fireworks fire code. Ordinance 11-15, ordinance to amend the building utility, et cetera, codes, the International Building Code. 11-16 is ordinance to amend the building utility, et cetera, codes. This one is plumbing. 11-17, ordinance to amend Title 12 building utility, et cetera, code. This is the International Fuel Gas Code. 11-18 is ordinance to amend the Title 12 building, utility, et cetera, codes. This is swimming pool code. Ordinance to 11-19, ordinance to amend Title 12 building, utility, et cetera, codes, the International Mechanical Code. And 11-20, ordinance to amend Title 12 building, utility, et cetera, codes, the International Residential Code for 1 and 2 family dwellings. And the point of all of these is to remove the fees.
Write all of these, or to read them. As part of the budget, you all approved a resolution to take the fees out of the ordinances and do it as a resolution of which you're going to be looking at annually to update fees that are charged. And so this is the second part of that process to remove the fees from the municipal code. And so each one of these ordinances deal with different sections that deal with the fire and the building codes, the various construction codes, with regards to the fees that we pass, or we charge. So the purpose of this is just to take it out of the ordinance now. And staff recommends approval of ordinances 11-14 through 11-20.
Motion?
I'll move for approval.
I had one quick question. I noticed what seemed like a discrepancy in the section titles, and I don't know if it's a typo or if I'm missing something, but in the first one, for example, I'm sorry, Alderman Hawken, but yeah, in 11-14, first paragraph, whereas it says Fire Code Section 7-106, and then down in Section 1 it says Fire Code Section 7-102, and I'm wondering, is that why those numbers don't match up? We're talking about the same thing. Title 7, Fire Protection, Fireworks, Chapter 1, Fire Code Section 7106, and then Municipal Code, Title 7, Fire Protection, Fireworks, Chapter 1, Fire Code Section 7-102. Well, I'm reading under whereas the first paragraph
Oh,
up there.
Okay, sorry.
And then the identical heading under section 1, the paragraph headed section 1. We just have different section numbers there. I noticed that's true in a couple of these, if not all of them.
On the first one, the one you're referring to,
Yes.
I think if it's the first whereas clause, Ruth, on, I think if we just strike out in the whereas, section 7-106,
Yeah.
and it would just say, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the Town of Farragut wishes to amend Title 7, Fire Protection and Fireworks, Chapter 1, Fire Code of the Farragut Municipal Code. If we just took out that reference to Section 7-106 in the whereas, then the rest of it fits with that.
Well, the second one, 1115, under section 1, it says section 12-102, and down to section 3, it says section 12-106.
There are two different sections that are getting amended,
Okay,
but they're both,
Section 2 and
they're
section
both in
3.
Chapter 1.
okay. Okay, so
On 1114, take out the word section 7-106 in the whereas.
okay.
That take care of the problems?
Yeah, I know, it's kind of chloroform in print.
Yeah, I think that'll solve the problem.
So shall we have one motion for all or individuals?
I think you can. I don't see any reason why you
Do all
can't.
of them.
You can say, yes, 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 yes.
So how did your motion read, Alderman Honkin?
Well, I'll have to amend it slightly with, in just a minute, that I would move for approval with the change that has been recommended.
And that's 1114?
And that would be 1114
Is there
through
a second?
1114, 1115, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
You're doing all of them at once?
Yes.
All right.
And I'll second it.
One vote for all, right? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You're welcome.
I have one question, Ms. Hawk. I'm sorry to belabor this, but the language in repeated inspections, and this is the same in all of them, it says when a request for inspection is made and the fire official finds that the required construction and/or improvements are inadequate to perform the required inspection. I'm just curious about that language. Wouldn't that be better? The construction is inadequate to perform an inspection. I mean, we're going to perform the inspection, but it's inadequate to pass the inspection, I think is what it's trying to say. I don't know. That just seems a little unclear to me. Just an observation. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, 7-106, repeated inspections, and I think that's the same language in all of them. That's what it's about, basically, the fee structure for repeated inspections. The construction or improvements are inadequate to perform the inspection. I don't know, that seemed kind of ambiguous or unclear or something.